That I will talk about Arizona. We look forward to the challenge of playing them. We know they're a good football team. They started off undefeated for the first 7 games, I believe, last year. So they start fast, and they've got a heck of an offense and defense, good coaches. Their special teams are rock solid. So we've got to make sure that we prepare. And early in the season, there's not a whole lot of scouting report on them other than the year before. So, and a little bit what you show in the preseason game. So you've got to really stay disciplined with what you do and execute on both sides of the ball and special teams. So, with that, time's yours.
Coach, is there an excitement to get a season started? Looking at a young secondary, looking at some new receivers. I mean, are you excited just to get this baby going?
Yeah, I am. We're coming off a week here where we just practiced, and so you look forward to getting started, and we've got a good opponent to do that against, which it's even better. So it's a great challenge, and then we're playing at their place where it's loud. So you got to, at the same time when you're jumping out of your shoes, you've got to make sure you calm the storm where you can execute at the best of your ability. So you can get high, just not too high, right? You get too high, and then you start doing things that aren't the right things.
What are some of your biggest challenges that you're going to face in this game? Obviously, Kyler Murray, stature of him as a quarterback, obviously they're not going to have DeAndre Hopkins. So what kind of challenges do you see with other players that are going to be stepping up that you might not expect?
Yeah, well, they've got a good stable of wide receivers there, and a good runners, good tight ends. They drafted one this year that's a heck of a player. So they've got good football players, and they're solid up front. Defensively, JJ's healthy, so you add him into the mix. With 44, who's dynamite 9. I mean, you can go through, and Buda Baker's. I feel like he's been doing this forever, and he's still flying around like a wild man. So it's there's 25. I mean, they're fully loaded on that defensive side. So we've got to make sure that on both sides of the ball that we execute. Be very important.
Can you talk about Kyler Murray and the problems he can pose to a defense?
Yeah, well, he's smart, and he knows how to execute that offense. And then you add on the physical part of it, where he's tremendously quick, and at the same time, he's got that arm that is potent, so he can put it anywhere, anytime, and so he's a good football player.
Andy, I imagine you got to know Cliff a bit as you were checking out Patrick, and I wonder if you have any particular recollection about what Cliff conveyed to you about Patrick as you were exploring that.
Well, obviously they're close, and Cliff's a tremendous guy, and I think he's a heck of a football coach. Arizona's lucky to have him in that capacity there, and he does a great job with the offensive side of the football. So he loved Patrick, and he thought he'd be a great professional football player. Even though maybe the offense was different, but you're seeing his offense now be very, very successful, and you're seeing Patrick also be very successful. So but at that time it was kind of new to the NFL, and all coaches thought that you'd have this big change, when you really didn't need that. So
You maybe didn't need